What is up, gamers? Staxwell's back at it again today with another market watch. Generics are just going absolutely crazy. You guys know I normally don't upload on the weekends, so if I had a weekend upload, you know it's something important. This one's for the real gamers. I know most of you guys have lives and you're busy on the weekends. This is why I don't upload on the weekends, is because I don't get any views. Yeah, this one's a big one, so buckle in. I'm going to pick up anything on this market watch. Please do so using the TCG player affiliate link in the description below. It costs you absolutely nothing and it helps support the channel. Let's just go ahead. I don't want to waste any more time and jump straight into it here. Rowdy Locals has finally gone crazy. We talk about this card every week. I tell you guys a new way that Rowdy Locals is going to be good every week. But you guys don't listen to me. You guys wait for a We Make Best video to come out and talk about Rowdy Locals in Katsu, which they are claiming is like posed to be the new best aggro deck in the format. Shout out to We Make Best, by the way. Love the content. But yeah, I think it's because of that video. Rowdy Locals is going a little bit crazy. Cheapest copy on the market is now $9 for a non-foil. Absolutely crazy. This card was like $3 less than a week ago. So to see it this high that quick is kind of insane. Weakest link also going up. Last time we talked about it, it was $20. Now it's up to $25. This card just keeps creeping up and up and up. I feel like every week I have to talk about this card. And look, if we just look a couple days ago, we had copies selling for $30. So yeah, they're just now coming back on the market at $25. And there's only a couple of them, and they jump right back up to $28, $30. So this card just keeps moving, disappearing quick. We actually talked about this in like our Part the Mistveil prediction video. This was like the standout majestic of the set to me, and yeah, it's proving to hold its weight. Very good card. Every hero is going to play it. Every hero is going to need it. It's fantastic against all the new heroes and a bunch of the old ones. Think like Prism and KO. And then also, yeah, obviously all of the new ones. Love Weakest Link. Fantastic card. I still think it's probably cheap. This is the closest thing. I know a lot of people say like, oh, this is the new CNC. Closest thing to actually being the new CNC. It's 2 for 6 that blocks 3, that has a disruptive effect. And this is the best one that they've printed yet, right? Because Erase Face blocks 2, that's not quite good enough. Amnesia is too narrow. There's so many cards that just don't quite fit, and Weakest Link is the closest fit to that best 2 for 6, like a good 2 for 6, right? So honestly, still think it's cheap. You're probably going to be playing this card. As long as no blocks exist in the game, you're going to be looking to Weakest Link as a solution. Think even 10 years down the line, they're going to print cards that don't block, and you're going to be looking at Weakest Link thinking like, how to tech against it, and Weakest Link is going to be at the top of everyone's mind. Next card we got to talk about is Sink Below. We talked about this last week and it was $15, and it's almost completely disappeared from the market. Cheapest playset on the market, there's only 2 sellers. One is selling a playset for $21.25 each, insanity. And then one seller is selling a playset for $30 each. This stuff is crazy, but this is like a good sign, right? This means we have a lot of new players getting in the game, foiling out their decks. It was a very good sign for like the health of the game, the health of Flesh and Blood. I would be a little bit wary of this. Like, I'm not going to say it's a bad pickup. I'm not going to say it's a good pickup. I think that foil cards are beautiful, and I always try and foil out my deck, so I won't blame anyone for wanting to do the same. And if you enjoy the card, I recommend picking it up. I do want to throw caution to the wind with all of these like more common generic cards. And that is that these are the kind of cards that they pick for their EA alt art reprints for the get people in the door calling promos. Think like the EA Oasis Respite, EA Ravenous Rabble. Like, these are the kind of cards that they look at and choose. They know if they reprint Ravenous Rabble or Oasis Respite or Sink Below, no one's going to be too mad about that. People are just going to be happy to get an alternate version of it. And I think Sink Below is a good target for that kind of a card. Sink Below being the best card in the game, they would probably save it for like a really special event that they want people in the door for. I'm not saying it's going to happen with Sink Below. I'm just saying when you're investing in any of these like common cards, like just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. It may be EA alt art one day. That being said, I would hold off at this price tag. Wait for it to replenish a little bit at the very least. If not, honestly, I think I would start cracking WTR before I bought Sink Belows at $21 for the unlimbs. Moving on, Levels of Enlightenment has gone down quite a bit. It seems like everyone is kind of shifting their focus away from Part the Mistveil and onto Rosetta, the new set. So a lot of the Part the Mistveil cards are going down. I could do a whole nother video on this because it's very interesting if you look at Part the Mistveil. all of like the regular common man, just everyday gamer cards like Levels of Enlightenment or the regular Traverse the Universe are all going down a lot. But the high end part, the Mistveil stuff is, staying high or going higher. So it's kind of weird, right? You have like the player's market cards going down and then the collector's market either holding or going up a little bit. It's kind of interesting. I could do a whole video on just that. But yeah, either way, if you're looking to build any of these Mystic Heroes, if you've held off this long and then now you're kind of like, maybe I want to start building, if you've held off and you're thinking about it, it's a great time to jump in as a player just trying to get the lowest rarity copy of the deck. Fantastic time. All the cards are very cheap. Levels of Enlightenment, cheapest copy on the market, $26. Fantastic deal. Snag, next card I want to talk about. With the Bonds of Ancestry hit, all I hear everyone talk about is how good New is going to be now. I think New probably just got worse because her best matchup got less popular. I don't know. That's open for debate. Who cares what actually is going to happen with New? The important part is everyone thinks New is going to be better. Therefore, everyone is going to be playing New. And if everyone's playing New, whether or not she's good, you're going to need Snag, right? Cheapest copy on the market has gone up. It went really high to like $20 at one point, then came back down to 10, and now it's back up to 14. Channel Mount Heroic, next card I want to talk about. Cheapest copy on the market's like $5 shipped, and then the cheapest rainbow foil on the market is $8-ish shipped. Interesting developments with this card, interesting community sentiment. I remember I was watching Nathan of the Card Guys, and he was talking about how he doesn't think that this card is quite going to make it in the new list because there's not like an Earth Lightning Rune Blade, which makes sense. You need the Earth to be able to play the channel, and then you need the lightning for the go again to make use out of the channel. So he was kind of theorizing that channel might not even be good in the new Rune Blades, which I agree with everything he said. Everything he said made a lot of sense, but there's one like linchpin in that argument, and that is that the Channel Mount Heroics got like announced as a promo for the upcoming skirmish season, and if LSS is putting this card in the kits as a promo, then they probably know it's going to be good, right? They want people to go out to these skirmishes. They want people to want to play in them. And Channel Mount Heroic, they're not going to give us a terrible card, right? They're not going to give us a card that doesn't work with the archetype. They probably know it works with the archetype. Internal testing probably says it's good. That's why they're reprinting it as a cold foil. Nathan didn't know that the card was getting reprinted as a cold foil in the skirmish kit before he said what he said. I wonder if that would change his opinion on the matter. Either way, shout out Card Guys. Go check them out. Fantastic content. What does that mean from a market standpoint? If you're trying to max out your deck, you don't have to worry about picking up Rainbow Foil Channel Mount Heroics anymore. I think Rainbow Foils are now bad, right? Because they're in this weird middle ground where it's like anyone who wants to max out their deck isn't going to buy this, and anyone who just wants to play the card isn't going to buy this. So the clientele for the Rainbows is like very niche, very specific. So if you're going to pick it up, I would recommend picking up just the regular version, the $3 just non-foil version, or just holding off and waiting for the cold foils when they drop during skirmish season. Banneret of Courage, cheapest copy on the market is $10. I'm not a Boltyn guy, but this Banneret does seem like one of the better ones. Courage token, being able to buff your attacks and turn on Boltyn's hero ability. This is actually going to be a theme in this market watch, as you're going to see a lot of Boltyn cards are going kind of crazy, which is super cool, super interesting. I'm glad to see people cooking with the Armory decks. But yeah, look, there's only one up here for $10, and then they quickly jump to $15. Another Dusk Till Dawn Majestic. If you guys watch all my videos, you guys are beginning to notice a theme, I bet. Dusk Till Dawn Majestics have just been going crazy lately. Look, Censor went crazy. Banneret of Gallantry's going crazy. Banneret of Courage, Hold the Line. Poison the Well the other day went absolutely nuts. Runic Reckoning is creeping up. Like, is this the new Everfest? We talk about Everfest Majestics all the time. Is it time to start talking about Dusk Till Dawn Majestics? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Dissolve Reality. The more I play with this card in Enigma, the more I like it. It is a fantastic card. Cheapest copy on the market is $10. It just fits perfectly into what Enigma wants to do. Enigma wants to make a board and attack, and then block and preserve the board. And then if you're playing against an Enigma, the best way to counter this strategy is to set up a 5-card hand and just have a really explosive turn that Enigma can't block out. And Dissolve Reality denies this 5-card hand and also potentially pushes Enigma's blocking value, right? If you Dissolve Reality and then draw like a blue Sink Below or a Hold the Line, and you're able to slap that in Arsenal off the Ponder token. Things just get insane very quickly. Dissolve Reality, fantastic card. Cheapest copy on the market is $10. This is going to probably be one of those timeless Illusionist cards that are going to be good. Or maybe not good, but at least like a consideration in every Illusionist ever. I think it's only a matter of time as well until this card starts being played in conjunction with Lost in Thought. Lost in Thought being able to rip a card from your opponent's hand. Actually, let's just pull up Lost in Thought. Lost in Thought. Look at target's hand. Look at target hero's hand. Choose an attack. Put it at the bottom. If you do, they get a ponder. So being able to stack these ponder generation effects seems very good. I think it's probably only a matter of time until Enigma starts doing this or a deck comes out that starts doing this. So when I see Dissolve Reality go up, I start to look at Lost in Thought as a good investment. Cheapest Lost in Thought in the market's only $1.50. Dissolve Reality, I also think is a good card. I also think, even though it's up right now, I also think it is a good pickup. Again, I think it's going to be one of those timeless Illusionist staples. That all you got? Gosh, how do we go through this every meta? Every meta, there's generic cards that randomly just spike up and become good, right? So think Snag, Warmongers, Hold the Line right now, right? And then all of the other very good generic majestic cards go down. So like, That All You Got or Down and Dirty are down right now, almost at all-time lows. And do you think That All You Got's just never going to be good again? Do you think Down and Dirty's just never going to be good again? Don't wait for these cards to become good. Don't wait for them to print Kasai support and you wish you had your That All You Got. Just go ahead, pick it up now. Cheapest copy on the market, it's only $7. This is like half of what it was, just a couple months ago. Cheapest rainbow foil on the market, only $15. Again, like half what it was a month or two ago. I think it's a fantastic pickup. If you don't have it, it's not good right now, but it will be one day, certainly. So yeah, I highly recommend picking it up if you haven't already. His face, I did kind of just shit talk this card a little bit ago, but I do think, while it's not a Command and Conquer level card, I do think it is going to be very good moving into the Rosetta meta. I used to play this card in Briar against Briar, and it was like very good in the mirror, and I don't think a lot is going to change on that front. I think Erase Face will still be a pretty good card. Cheapest copy on the market, it's only $5. So yeah, it's also a super low risk investment, right? At worst case scenario, you waste $15. Best case scenario, you have a format staple, a potential format staple, right? It could be. Moving on, Humble Red. Stacks, why are you talking about a rare? It's only 10 cents. I know, but look at this. Cheapest rainbow foil on the market, of which there's only 3. There's one up here that after shipping is like $5, and then it jumps to $3 and then $10. This card's almost non-existent on the market for Humble, a red rare. And it's not the only Outsiders card that is like this. If you look at Bonds of Ancestry Red, also a rare, also from Outsiders, and the cheapest rainbow foil is $8. And this is simply because Outsiders just doesn't have a lot of value in it, and a big part of that is because the legendaries are just so bad. So if all the legendaries suck, all the legendaries are bad, no one really wants them. I get they're all like niche uses, right? Like sometimes you play Flick, sometimes you play Van Brents. Okay, whatever, they're bad. Overall, they're bad. And if all the legendaries in the set are bad, something has to be worth money. So Codex of Frailty, Premeditate, Rainbow Foil rares. That's what's all worth money, right? And then if you guys notice, every time a Majestic in this set becomes good, it goes totally crazy. You guys remember when Dishonor was a $10 card? You guys remember when Head Leads Tails, before Zen came out, everyone thought Head Leads Tails would be good? I did a market watch on this. Cheapest Rainbow Foil was like $15 for that as well. Down and Dirty, you guys remember that card being a $20 card. The Majestics in this set, I'm not going to harp on it too much. When they're good, they're insane. A couple of ones that I actually think could spike and just go crazy. I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I think the Riptide Traps are an insane investment because they're legendary. They have the legendary keyword, right? Legendary Riptide Specialization. That means they're printed at 1/3 the rate of every other Majestic. So there's a lot less of them on the market. It's more subject to a buyout or something like that. Riptide is also not good. Like, he's not bad, but he's not good right now. If he ever gets maybe this Azalea Armory deck will push him over the edge. Maybe just 1 or 2 support cards away from being a tier 1 hero. And all of his traps, all the legendary ones, fantastic pickups. Codex of Inertia, another good pickup from Outsiders. This card is kind of maybe not super relevant right now, maybe a little bit slept on right now. But if you guys remember, Codex of Inertia during Azalea format was an insane card. It takes a hero like Icelander or a Crown of Seeds-esque hero, something that really cares about their arsenal. I get Crown of Seeds is banned, but a hero that really cares about their arsenal, all it takes is for one of them to come out, and then people immediately will start looking at Codex of Inertia. Cheapest copy on the market for a rainbow foil is like $3. Insane. Look at Codex of Bloodrot's price, and those two are like very comparable, I think. So yeah, I think this is a great pickup as well. Poison the Well, we did kind of briefly look at it just a second ago, but I still think this card's insanely cheap. We're going to get confirmation of the Wizards hero powers at Pro Tour Amsterdam. Pro Tour Amsterdam is happening in, I think, a week or 2 weeks. Maybe it's 2 weeks. I'm not 100% sure on the date because I'm not going, but I've had a couple of my teammates tell me that they're already there, so it can't be too far away. I think it's a week or 2 weeks away. Yeah, cheapest copy on the market's $3. Do you want to be that guy that waits for them to announce that the new Wizards have like infinite life gain synergy, and then Poison the Well goes crazy and you don't have any? Just pick it up. Worst case scenario, you waste $10. I think it's a fantastic like risk to reward ratio here. Moving on, Spirits of Arena. I did warn you we were going to be talking about a lot of Boltyn cards. Cheapest rainbow foil on the market is $20. I feel like we just mentioned this card. It was like $8, didn't we? Cheapest Coldie on the market is, $25. Fantastic pickup alert. Cheapest cold foil, $25. Highly recommend. Do not buy the rainbow foil at that price tag. Yeah, again, cool to see people cooking with the new Armory deck. Spirit of Arena, obviously a very powerful card. On Codex of Frailty. Cheapest Codex on the market is $73. And I think Codex is a very interesting one because this card is going to be played in every Assassin and every Ranger forever, right? Well, there's only one of two options. Either it's going to be played forever or it's going to be power crept out. Can you imagine Codex being power crept out? Would be absolute insanity. I guess it could also be banned, right? But for a card that you're very likely going to be playing for the next 10 years, I think even at this price tag, it's a fantastic pickup, especially if Assassin or Ranger kind of calls to you. Having a card that isn't going to rotate the next 10 years. This is part of the reason I love Flesh and Blood. This is part of the reason I started this channel, is because I don't think a lot of people think about the game like that. They just look at like, oh, I'm gonna pick up the current deck and that's it. And if you're thinking about it long term like I am, and you look at this $73 price tag, you also know that they don't reprint things as a foil again, right? So they reprinted Ravenous Rabble, Scar for Scar, all the white border stuff. They never reprint it as foil again, though. There's probably a few more examples I'm not thinking of at the moment. Anyway, if you're going to get the rainbow foils. Like I said, it's going to be good for the next 10 years or it's going to be banned. They've kind of doubled and tripled down on Codex. They don't seem to think it's a problem at all, and the meta doesn't really seem to think it's a problem at all right now either. So yeah, I think it's a safe investment. I think it's one of the best investments on the market if you're interested in either of these heroes. Yeah, cheapest copy, $75. Swell Tidings. This, Mind Warp, and Aether Arc, all of them, I think obviously they're all good pickups because of Surge and how heavy these new Wizards are going to be leaning into Amp. Not a lot has changed on the price of these cards. I just want to bring these up and mention that on the M&R podcast, Michael Hamilton and Roger Bodie were talking about this card specifically, Mind Warp specifically. They were talking about how broken each of these cards are. So, if the GOAT thinks it's broken, it's probably is going to be broken. If you don't have a playset of these and you're interested in the Wizard, highly, highly recommend it. Again, don't wait for the hero powers to be announced. Don't wait for all the Wizard hype to hit the market. Just go ahead and grab it while you can. Cheapest copy is only $5. Bittering Thorns, cheapest copy is like $5, $6 shipped. I think it's a fantastic investment for the Lost Zen players. Not having bonds. What are you going to put in your deck? I imagine it's going to be just like value cards like Mauling Key and Bittering Thorns, which oddly enough kind of makes Zen better because these Mauling Key, Bittering Thorns type of cards don't get hit as hard by things like Amnesia or things like Censor. So it kind of makes you more resilient to disruption and also like allows you to play a better 2-card hand, right? If you pitch a blue, play Bittering Thorns and then attack with your weapon, it's a 2-card 7. It's very good. which, you know, traditionally Ninja isn't very good at playing 2-card hands, right? You would always think if you make a Ninja block, you're going to be like in good shape, right? That's what you want to do. You want to make a Ninja block because they can't play small hands very effectively. Bittering Thorns and Mauling Key allow them to do both of those things. The Boltyn Armory deck is $56 on TCG Player. Do not pick it up at this price. Go to your LGS, try and get it there. And if anything, just wait because if you look at the other Armory deck KO, $37, right? And I think KO is just pound for pound a better deck. Like, let's be honest, it's a better deck and it's a lot cheaper, has better cards in it. So yeah, don't pick up the Boltyn deck at this price. This price will go down. Go to your LGS, try and get it for cheaper. Yeah, don't. This is just like game stores just straight scamming. Just don't fall for this. Don't buy into this stuff. Yeah, just go to your LGS, try and find one that's actually supporting the community and not trying to make a quick buck off of intro level products. Don't buy it at this price. It's gonna go down so much. Mistveil Rune gloves. Oh my gosh, these old common foil cards are going so crazy. Cheapest copy of the foil Null Rune gloves is up to $10. I'm not sure how much I like this investment because the foil alt art gloves are going to be at Pro Tour Amsterdam. There's not going to be a lot of those though, obviously, but how much do you think those gloves are going to cost from the Pro Tour, the alt art ones? They're going to be like $50 each or something. So why would you buy this, which there's probably like thousands of out there? I'd rather buy an alt art Null Rune gloves. I don't know, maybe that's just me personally. Cheapest copy on the market's $10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is the art like that much cooler on? I think it is cooler on this one. Is it that much cooler where you'd rather have this than the alt art promo? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Spellfray. I think Spellfray is kind of the future in a lot of decks. I want to bring up the Spellfray gloves specifically so we could compare it to the Null Rune gloves, but the cheapest Coldie Spellfray gloves on the market is like $2 or $3 shipped. I think it's insane. You know, a lot of heroes play the Spellfray stuff. It hasn't gone crazy yet, and I think one day it probably will. Specifically the cold foils. Obviously I'm only talking about the cold foils here. Cheapest cold foil on the market, yeah, $2, $3. But yeah, I could see this stuff going crazy one day, maybe a year, maybe 2 years down the line. If you don't have a full set of Spellfray, highly recommend it. Just go ahead, grab it. Worst case scenario, you waste $5. Best case scenario, you have a timeless generic equipment suite that's going to be used against Wizards forever. Kind of a long one for you guys today. I did a lot of yapping. Thanks for hanging out with me and wasting your weekend with me. That's all I got for you guys today. Later, gamers.